Hi there, today I'm going to be doing a Photoshop tutorial on the basics for Photoshop. So here, open, I have an image I've taken from my lyric booklet for my digipack, and I'm going to show you how to edit this with some basic tools. So first of all, we will look at the crop tool. So as you can see here on the left, there is a 3 dots icon. So basically press on this if the crop tool's not already present on here on the left, and you go like this, and then here is lots and lots of tools which you can use. So as you can see, the crop tool is already on, so you press the crop tool, and this is what the crop tool looks like. You press that, and then you can adjust to where you want, and then just press the enter key or OK, or this button here, which is the main button where basically you'll have a mouse. So when you press this, it will say crop this image and say crop, and then yeah, that is basically the command button. So basically you can do anything with this. For example, convert to normal layer, you can drag the image with this icon, with the command. It's basically just like a normal mouse. And anyway, the next tool we're going to look at is the quick selection tool, which is this one right here. So this tool is used when you want to get rid of a background. So I'd recommend when you want to get rid of a background, you zoom in on the photo so you can get a really nice cut. So as you can see, you just basically keep pressing the quick selection tool button on here, and it should get rid of the background for you. And obviously you'll need an image which is obviously easy to do it with, because if you've got an image which is, for example, a girl with green hair on a green background, that is not going to work, because Photoshop won't see that there's a difference in colour, and then it won't be able to get rid of the background for you. So as you can see here, this is cropped all around the subject that I want. So once you've done that, you basically just press the backspace key and it will get rid of the background. As you can see now, the background is gone. And if you want to get rid of these lines which are moving, which is just a selection basically, it means that you've got a selection here. Basically, if you want to do that, you go to select, and then you deselect, you press deselect, and basically it's been deselected for you. And as you can see, there are a few issues with this. The whole background hasn't completely gone, and you'll always have problems with that. Obviously here it's a bit nicer, but yeah, again, anyway. So if you want to get rid of these, for example, you can go with the eraser tool. This is the eraser tool here, and this gives you 3 different options: eraser tool, background eraser tool, magic eraser tool. Magic eraser tool really gets rid of a lot at once, and basically that's to get rid of backgrounds, for example, and that's the same also for backgrounds, getting rid of backgrounds. And this eraser tool, the normal one, is basically is the normal one where you can do it manually. So as you can see, you can change the size of the eraser. For example, I'm doing a big one. I've learned that it's better to be bigger, so then you can easily just crop these little problems out. So obviously I'm not going to do the whole thing because that would take way too long, but as you can see, that is the process you take. You can use the quick selection tool, and then you can use the actual manual eraser to just nicely trim around the edges where it's left some of the background on it, like this. And yeah, that's basically what you would do with that. And also, as you can see throughout this tutorial, I've been zooming in and out. And basically to do that on a Mac, you can press the command button which is at the bottom of the keyboard, and then you press the plus sign or the minus sign, or the hyphen sign. So basically, if you want to zoom in, you press the command and then the plus sign, as you can see here. If you want to zoom out, you press command and the hyphen sign, as you can see. And if you want to do that manually, well, you can go to view, zoom in, zoom out. Well, that will take a lot longer. And also, if you want to backspace anything that you've done, you can go to undo eraser. So you go to edit and then press undo or step backward. And also, if you want to go a long way back, and because if you've made a load of mistakes and you want to go all the way back, you can go to this here where it says history. This is on the right hand side, and basically you press that and then it shows you everything you've done. So if you want to go very back to the beginning, you go all the way to that and it takes you all the way back to when you did that. Or if you want to go back to the normal image, you do that. And you can go back again, you can keep going. So it's really useful, this tool is, the history tool. And anyway, next tool we're going to look at is the pen tool. So another way of basically getting rid of a background, is by using the pen tool. So as you can see here, it's the normal image again, and you can press the pen tool, and basically there's a normal pen, freeform pen, curvature, and yeah. So if you want a nice, easy manual curve on your selection, you can press the curvature pen tool or the freeform pen tool, and the pen tool basically, I'll show you what they all do. So here, you can see that you can trace the shape that it takes, like this. Basically this method is a bit more precise than the quick selection tool, as you can see. And now I'll use the freeform pen tool, and basically this is kind of dodgy, but yeah, this is basically you drawing around the outline. So as you can see, it's not very precise, that isn't. So yeah, that's what the freeform one does. And then if you want curvature, basically this will just make curves everywhere. See, as you can see, it's trying to make a curve out of everything. So yeah, that is the main difference between all three of those pen tools. And now I will show you the type tool. So when you press this is the T button, you can go like this, and basically you start typing something like hello. As you can see, you can't see it very well. You can change the size, as you can see. Change if it's in the middle, on the side, etc. You can change the colour of it. As you can see, you can change the font here, so it's Arial at the moment, or italic, bold, regular, etc. So that's how you do the text tool. And now I'll move on to layers. So this is quite a complicated section. So the layers, as you can see, there is one layer here. Layers are basically the things which you have on the file. So as you can see, there's only one layer here, but you can get many layers. So for example, if there was no background here, if there was no background on this image, you could do this. So you go down to this here, and basically these are different layers that you can add. So either solid color, gradient, pattern, brightness, levels, curves, exposure. So these are different layers where you're adding layers to make the image look slightly different, or yeah, adding certain things. So for example, solid color would just create a solid color layer. And if you can move layers around, so if you bring that below, or you have to unlock that first, bring it to below, it will go behind the layer. So it's basically what it says in the name, layer. So if you put them in certain ways, so if you put the layer underneath another layer, that will bring it behind, so arranging the layers, as you can see here. If you go to layer, it says arrange, and then you can either bring the layer to the front or bring the layer backwards. And yeah, so that's what color layer is, for example. And then if you want to add another layer, which is brightness, for example, you can adjust the brightness here, and then have a brightness layer. So as you can see, it changes the brightness and everything, contrast. So they're just different effects that you can add, and basically they create layers. That's what a layer is. And also there is a black and white layer, so that will create a black and white layer here. As you can see, you can adjust the different colours and everything. That's quite a scary image. Quite scary. And anyway, next thing I will show you is blending. So I will add a layer of a solid colour layer, and I will drag that below. No, I'll keep it there. And basically, when you can double click layers, so when you double click a layer, as you can see, it brings up this layer style thing, and basically this is what it will look like. And basically you can have a blend mode. So if you want this to blend with the first image of the girl in the image, you can change the blending mode. So for example, darken will make the image look like this. It will blend in a certain way to make the image look like that. Or multiply. They all create different effects. It's quite a nice effect. It looks like pink lighting on the person. Yeah, they just all create different effects. It's quite a nice effect too. Weird effect. For example, this one here would invert the colours, and yeah, just stuff like that. And also, if you want to look here, the certain channels for different colours. So this is the red channel, the green channel, and the blue channel. So the channels basically the colours which are in any image, and you can get rid of them if you want. For example, if you get rid of the red layer here, that's what it would do. So I'll bring it back to normal and show you what it would do if you change the layer. So if you take rid of the red layer, it would take any red out of the photo, and obviously it's left to be blue here. It's quite interesting because the hair looks blue then. It's quite nice. If you take all the green out, that's what the colour will create. Take all the blue out, that's the colour it will create. So I think that's about it for this Photoshop basics tutorial. I think I've shown you everything, a lot of the basics to use and everything. And obviously there's going to be a lot more tools that you can learn how to use. But in this tutorial I'm just showing you the basics. So I hope that was helpful.